So I think we're all set, all here. Okay. I'm using two materials today. So I'm using my pilot pen and some like graphite called Cretacolor. I think it's supposed to be like a play on create. I don't know. But it's a graphite stick. And like I always kind of avoid mixing like pen line, like very fine pen line and graphite because it feels overwhelming to get them to like work together. The contrast really has an interesting effect on the space in the image, and I think that's where it has a lot of value, is I can kind of move between a really like fine depth of field and a really specific mark pretty quickly. So I am working from life, but the reason this is titled like an abstraction is because I really could care less about representing what's in front of me. There's a bust of a model called Ira from our school and a plant right next to it that has like these big palm leaves. And I am just kind of like feeling out like what does it feel like to put a leaf in front of a face, you know, like what does it feel like to have them sitting in an inset window sill. So I am responding to a little bit of what's going on in Ira's face over here, which I'm gonna start addressing. I draw in the format sometimes when I'm looking at something because I want to be able to see it and react to it in like an appropriate way. And sometimes like giving yourself a format lets you see the shapes on the outside of like how big is this space. If I chose an arbitrary point out there to measure against, how big is this space above that head? You know, there's, so like this is the head, this is a leaf, and then there's like a space, and then this is the top of the window pane that's coming towards me, and there's like a kind of crooked blind coming down, and like those are the things I'm recording right now, you know, just kind of bouncing between point to point. I want to make like a really intense hard style like set of maybe like 6 tracks just to play on loop. Just like super intense music behind me. So what's nice about this is there is a point. So sometimes I make marks like this which just invite more of a contrast in terms of like a quick note about perspective. So I'm trying to really give myself really quick observations that I can then turn into actual information later on. I think the Wandering Jew is going to thrive in the coming months. So I'm excited to see how it changes as I draw these and paint. There's going to be like a lot of cool organic information I can respond to. Oh no, I switched it to... Did I tell you that when I was at UW, I took a graduate dance composition course? For some reason, I feel like you would enjoy doing like dance stuff because you enjoy dancing. But like that class was so cool. Yeah, I guess I was thinking of this as like dance related too, like hand movement, like cardistry stuff. Finger tutting, what is that? Is it like trumpet? It's interesting too because it like kind of reminds me of like the concept of it feels like, yeah, definitely different. Oh, there's this like really flat color right here where the eye of Ira is. So I explained earlier before anyone was here who Ira was, but did you ever like see any of the figure drawing stuff at UMass? Ira was one of the models there. And I'm drawing him and his eye is like this, the eye of Ra. Yes, the eye of Ira. His eye has this like one flat warm tone to it right now because of the way like all the light is and the dusk outside. When you say packs, do you mean like playing cards still? Oh, the ones you showed me the other day? I wonder how related cardistry is to like are you gonna get those light gloves? Oh, that's finger tutting. Okay, cool. But it's a genre of music that came out of Chicago, which is just like super repetitive, super fast, like drum beats and breakbeat and stuff. And it's like all dance stuff that you do. But like I think you'll love it. But it's cool, like the dance that it's made specifically for footwork dancing. And like that's how the genre developed. Was because they made music that was like good for footwork. Dance is cool because it's like something you can create that like doesn't exist after you do it. You know, like you're dancing on your own in your room somewhere and it's like creative and feels like drawing or something, but then it's like that's all it is, you know? And that, like I love that. I mean, it's like not even about like making art. Like I think being a person of like the similar mindset to me, it's like art creation is something that just happens. It's not like, I don't know, art is a weird thing. Sometimes I need to shake it a bunch to see if I can like get the pen ink to come forward. It's cool outside is like getting darker. It was getting darker and it was like changing all the values, but right now instead of getting darker for the last few minutes, it's just been getting bluer, which is like showing me new stuff outside the window and like things are starting to come closer together, which is giving me like more excuses to make like extra marks and stuff that I wasn't able to before because the values were too separate. I remember there was something that like someone was saying you don't need to work out your fingers for. Like there was something that a long time ago I was watching a video and someone was like being like, everyone thinks you need to work out your fingers for this thing, but you never need to do that. Finger strength doesn't matter. But like it was for like something completely different, so not like card shuffling or like rock climbing. It was like something else. And it sticks out in my mind, someone getting really upset about finger workouts. That character was a warlock who invented a like drone that flies around and has like casting ability from really far. And he was trying to like fund this like planetary broadcast system to create the internet. And his name was Ingenuity. So I sculpted this when I was in undergrad, and it's this guy Ira, his head, and he's like very unique looking. And yeah, I just have it in a wood block over there. But right now it's kind of like a big hammer. Yeah, I mean, like I love sculpting clay busts. It's so much fun. It like taught me so much about drawing and like abstraction, and even though it's like so realistic to like we were using like calipers and like going up to Ira and measuring his head and then coming back and measuring our bust and like changing the form and like pushing and pulling. It was a really great process to learn. I recommend taking a figure sculpture class at some point. Sometimes with these little lines that I'm making in the back here, I'm creating like, I'll do small kind of pointed lines, like really specific lines to make it seem like space is receding. So it's like making up fake perspective lines or something. And it's just like a subtle trick you can like play on an eye so that it like moves back in space and kind of changes There's like this street outside my window, and there's this sidewalk back there that I like want to start responding to, but I think I don't have the tools to do it. At least like the tools to do it light enough and specifically enough. But I think I'll just get the gesture in. So gesture is like a concept of like abstraction, but also like figure drawing and like kind of more traditional art forms, like representation forms, which is the idea that like everything in front of you, when you translate it to a visual, like a 2D image, it has like its own kind of essence on the page, and you're kind of responding to that in life. Like, how do you get like this abstract feeling of something onto a page? And that's how people start a lot of figure drawing. So if you look at like portraits and stuff and you see someone slouching in a chair in like a figurative work, that is all about gesture. It's like getting the weight of their back against a chair or something. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird because it sometimes like the drawings that I do, especially seeing it on the screen up here, like I don't see, like I know what I'm looking at and I know how it's like forming on the page and like where spatially everything is. But sometimes, like, this is why sometimes it's like way more abstract and then other times it's less abstract, is because I'm not, my goal is to respond to life, but it doesn't always like correspond with reality. And then sometimes there are these like really small specific moments that start accumulating, and eventually it like there's something that like a feeling emerges, and I'm feeling that with this drawing. You should look up Man Ray, because Man Ray was friends with Dolly, and they would do a lot of like kind of like art exercises with each other. But Man Ray also did some. Yes, I'll do it. Man Ray also did some cool light tricks with like exposing film and covering it with stuff so you'd get like imprints. So I use this for like kind of thin, dark, hyper contrasted lines and like outlines and kind of rendering, whereas the other one is more for like finding value in gesture and kind of creating form between planes. Yeah, they're so unique to one another. And okay, yeah. If you do, let me know. I'll watch. I'll come by. Yeah, streaming, it's so interesting too, because streaming is such a different way of interacting with the organism. Like, I mean, like I definitely, I think the platform that I'm the most active on and like have been for years is Instagram. And like just learning how that all those like interactions work. It changes completely when you're streaming, because it's like more about like I have more space to be me when I'm streaming than any. Yeah, like it like never relaxes your brain to go to social media, but it always feels like it's going to. Because I might get off soon, but then I want to stream more later potentially. Kyle and I were playing this game called Hunt Showdown, which is like a horror battle royale. Not really battle royale. I guess it's like a horror goal-based game. Yeah, I mean, tomorrow I'm definitely available to play, because I'll be home. Okay, bye.